Yo, what is up, YouTube? I'm Blitz5, and today I want to talk about ADCs in League of Legends and playing as ADC and kind of its role in the current meta, what it's like to play, some of my issues with it. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. This is going to be a little bit longer of a video, probably around 10 minutes, but I got a lot to say, so I wanted to make sure this video was long enough to kind of express my feelings about League of Legends and playing ADC. And in this video, I'm playing Jinx. I actually got this skin, the Fireworks, Firecracker Jinx, whatever this is called, and a mystery gift. So that was pretty cool. And I do like playing Jinx. She's one of my favorite ADCs. And right here, this is weird that Echo didn't come in on us. I guess, it is 2v1, but I was had just burnt all of my abilities and had no mana. So I don't think he realized that, or else he probably could have won that trade, or at least killed me. But anyways, getting on to the point here before I digress too much. Basically, the point of this video to me is that playing League of Legends, playing ADC in League of Legends right now is like the worst role. And I have some of my opinion to back this up. I've always felt that I've played roles that most people don't want to play in League of Legends. I don't know why. When I first started off, I played support. And when I was playing, it was the beginning of Season 4, and support was like the worst roles. Before, a lot of the support items have been changed. There was a lot of different changes with like the trinket wards, all that stuff. Before that, you had no money as a support. You had like no items. You couldn't do anything. It was really hard to make any kind of impact on the team, at least from a beginner standpoint. And I was a beginner, so it was even worse for me because I didn't know what I was doing, and it just made things really difficult. And then from there, the jungle got really bad. Like nobody wanted to play in the jungle. The changes were terrible. It was impossible to get through. It was super slow. You'd be under leveled. You'd be lower leveled than everyone else on the team. And nobody wanted to play jungle, so I went and played jungle. Right now, metas change and change. Things are going on. After the tank meta, in the tank meta, ADCs became really hard to play because everybody was a tank and super tanky, strong. They did damage, and it was really hard to position yourself right in a team fight. And then you see kind of like tank busters come out like Kog'Maw and Vayne, which makes it really hard because a lot of people that play those champions are like mechanically skilled, especially people playing Vayne. So it's even harder like in a matchup like late game. You have to be like really high mechanics, and even then just having one ADC and still having all the tanks made it difficult. And then because of that, fighters slowly kind of crept back into the meta, and fighters and those kind of champions destroy ADCs. So it's just super hard. And right now, basically all the mobile champions are ones that get played. If a champion isn't mobile anymore, they just, let's face it, they're not getting played in League of Legends, especially in competitive play. And right now, because competitive play is so popular, people kind of mimic what the pros play in normal games. And that's what you're going to see. Like, you see so many champions, like you don't see Karthus mid or anything like that because they don't have any abilities to move around the map. And that's what people want. And then even with the tanks, teleport is super popular. It's really easy to move around the map. And ADCs don't have that. ADCs don't have any, dashes really. Like there's Graves and Lucian, all right. So some ADCs have dashes, but they don't have like easy dashes all the time. They're on high cooldowns. They're not mobile champions to begin with. Let's just face it, they're not. They're damage dealers, attack damage carries. You basically position as best as you can, and that's what you do, and deal as much damage as you can. And a lot of times that's hard, especially for people in lower elos, because you want to go in and do damage, but you have to stay far back enough to where you don't get killed. So a lot of times you're not dealing enough damage. You're supposed to be attack damage carry, but like it's kind of like a catch-22. If you get too close, you're gonna get dived on. If you're too far away, you're not doing any damage. And you see that a lot in here, where like I'm trying to position myself. Like right here is a good example. Like I'm going in. I waited, then I went in when the team kind of left. Echo ulted, so it took a while for us to kill him, and then the other team kind of got away. The rest of the team got away. But in the beginning of this video, see that the laning phase was good. I did okay. But there's two assassins on the other team which end up switching this, so you're gonna see how the tides kind of turn, and the game ends up really not going that well. But you'll see in the whole beginning of the game, I'm playing really well. And this is what kind of is getting me mad about League of Legends, because like I was saying, going back to the meta, and then now with the assassins coming back kind of into the meta, I've been seeing a lot of Zed and Yasuo, and then Fiora. She's not an assassin, but she kind of plays like an assassin almost in a way, because she's a high damage dealer and then kind of just like life steals, and she doesn't have that much damage. So I consider her like a fighter assassin style character. Now that these characters are coming back into the meta, they blow up ADCs immediately. And in this game, you can see there actually wasn't a traditional ADC. There was Fiora, Talon, and Zed. And even then, my team could have just built armor. It was still really hard to fight against this team, because basically, in my eyes, after the laning phase, it's almost not necessary to have an ADC. I mean, yeah, they're great for objective control, but in team fights later on, like a Talon or a Zed, if there's two of them on a team, you can it's really hard to stop both of them, and one of them can instantaneously blow up an ADC. So it's almost impossible. There's a clip later on where I try to defend a turret as Zed or Talon is there, and they just instantly blow me up. There's nothing I can do. I can't defend that turret, 1v1. Not a lot of players can go up 1v1 against any assassin in the game. That's the whole point. They're assassins, unless they're like a tank, or like a really, kind of like a bruiser that has health and does damage. They're also going to have a hard time, because a lot of fighters have hard times against assassins because they are based off lifesteal, and the fight won't go long enough for them to lifesteal and fight their way through, as they're called. So for me, it's just been really frustrating. So, and then also going back to what I was saying before about how I've ended up playing positions that I normally don't. So this, in the past 2 to 3 months, it feels like I've become an ADC main. So I've gotten a lot better at the game. I still make a lot of mistakes. ADC is not my, doesn't really fit my playstyle. I've never been one, even when I played World of Warcraft casually. I only played it for like a couple months. I played like a Warlock. I've always played like mages and every kind of these types of games. I've never really played a MOBA before, but I'm usually someone who likes to sit back and just deal a lot of damage. Because my computer mechanics aren't that great. I'm more of an Xbox controller gamer. So for me, it's easier to just hit skill shots. That's what I'm really good at doing, like predicting movement, maybe juking somebody out. Like they think they're going to juke left, but then I shoot my skill shot the other way and still hit them. That's the kind of stuff that I'm good at. Right here is when Talon hits me. So I think I hit him with my W. He ults, and I didn't notice that he flashed, because I'm like, oh, why did he ult? I thought he was just trying to run away, but he actually flashed behind me. And then viewing it in the replay, you could see the flash go off. But at the time, I was like, what is going on? And then you can see here is I'm still 10-5, but the tides start turning here because I can't get away from the assassins, and they're just kind of picking me apart as soon as they see me. And we don't have a lot of hard CC. Sona is really the only CC we have, and it's just her ultimate. And it's just super hard. And then also, this brings into a great point, is when you're playing in lower elos, and even when you're playing, in solo queue, it's really hard to have teamwork and have people peel for you. And a lot of people want to engage instead of peel. And there's like, nobody's looking out for the ADC. Everyone's thinking about themselves. And I do this all the time as a support. I'm used to main support, and it took me a while to realize that a lot of times you don't want to be engaging or doing certain things. You just want to peel for the ADC, because they are the AD attack damage carry, and you need to keep them alive. And a lot of times you just are taught, like if you're a Leona or a Thresh, like you need to be the one engaging, and then sometimes you protect, but a lot of times engaging is on your mind, especially when you're winning. And a lot of times it is just better to peel. And a lot of people don't have that mentality, and especially when you're playing, like I said, low elo or solo queue, they're focused on themselves. Only once in a while you do get a really great support, and even then, like this Sona was a pretty good support. She had already used her ultimate there. There was nothing she could do when someone dives on me, and the whole other team didn't really pick around CC. And you see that it's super frustrating when that happens. So to me, CC is still the one of the best things in the game to stop a team. When you see the Mumu jungle and the ultimate, that's just so overpowered in like lower elos to me. That's just kind of an opinion for me, but like, because of this, like in this case, it gets me so frustrated seeing the assassin just blowing me up, that in this, because solo queue, you can't rely on teamwork, assassins are just huge, because you can blow up the best player on the enemy team. And then also having CC is great, because you can stop people from doing that. And when you get these team comps that don't have it, it's just really hard to play ADC. And as this game finishes, I just wanted to bring up one point that I thought was interesting, that recently, the supports went through a buff like a year or two ago, then the jungle went through a buff, then mages got a buff with the item restructure, and the ADCs are the only group of people that haven't had a buff yet. Like the BF sword still costs 1550 when the needlessly large rod costs like 1250, and it does take a while to scale off items. And unlike mages, ADCs scale off their items completely when like mages do get some like level buffs, like at certain, like I think they get a stronger like level 12, 11, level 12, when ADCs, like they need that BF sword, they need that infinity edge, and then they need attack speed. So it's just really hard to get things going. It's really frustrating to play. Even though I still do love playing ADC, it's been a fun role. It's been fun. It's making me get better at the game. It just is like, it's high risk and there's not a lot of reward in it. So I hope this gives you guys something to think about. Thank you for watching, and Blitz 5, I'm out.